Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, September 7th, 2022, after 3 p.m. Eastern. We have a call tonight, time for change call, 9 p.m. Eastern. Commitment unlocks the doors of imagination, allows vision, and gives us the right stuff. Turn our dreams into reality, James Womack. This life, the realization that all of us manifest everything. That there's no little things that come in that we haven't manifested. There are things that come in that we aren't consciously aware that we've manifested to. We believe that it's coming from somewhere else. But to know that 24/7, even sleeping, we are manifesting. We are moving energy into form. We are creating it into reality, and we are experiencing it every single second. Now, the ego mind would like you to believe that no, that's not true. And for you to always stay in yesterday or tomorrow, the past or the future. That's where you should be at all times, flipping back and forth. Now, this is where all of us, none of us are exempt from it. We wander off into the yesterday or the tomorrow, or the past or the future. And this is where we all suffer. Disappointment, dissatisfaction. You get your heart set on something, doesn't happen. Expectations and attachments go with ego mind. Now, as long as we allow the ego mind to rule or master us, this is how our life will be. But we do have a choice. We can move into the now through our breath, easy and slowly in through the nose and easy and slowly out through the mouth, listening to the breath, moving into the now. When we move into the now, there's a lot of things that disappear. The mind chatter that we all have, incessant at times, isn't there. All of the thoughts that run by us 24/7 like clouds in the sky, these are billions of thoughts. They aren't there, and they're not ours anyway. They're programs. The ego mind is not there. The ego mind is an illusion. It cannot exist in the now. So just feel that in your heart mind to realize that all the things that this civilization experiences from yesterday and tomorrow is the reason it suffers. In the now, suffering doesn't exist. And actually, wanting doesn't exist. Desiring doesn't exist. Because we've come to the understanding when that happens, when we're able to maintain that through the heart-mind on a consistent basis, being in the now, we begin to discover that all of that stuff that we want, desire, instead of us going after it, it will come to us. It's a reversal. The material physical world is a reversal of our natural state of being. We are not, the material physical world is not our natural state of being, so sometimes that's why it feels so uncomfortable and out of place and why we suffer. Now, the majority of this population suffers because of that. It's not a negative thing. It is that so many have not discovered to go within, to stay in the now. And then people will say, well, you've got tomorrow and yesterday. No, we don't. We don't have yesterday. Yesterday's gone. And we don't have tomorrow because it isn't here yet. So the true reality is that none of us can guarantee absolutely, with not even a fraction of a doubt, that we will be here tomorrow. None of us. Truly from the heart mind. So the now seems to be this elusive light it comes and goes, because we're there at 1 minute and we're not the next. You can always tell when you're not there because you suffer. And the suffering is, we suffer so we know what suffering is, so we know the difference between suffering and happiness. So a lot of the things that we experience in this life are training tools that are meant to teach us so that we can make comparisons. I know this is hot and that's cold. Why? Because I've experienced it. I know this isn't good for me because I've experienced it when I have eaten it or drank it, whatever. When we're in yesterday and tomorrow, we're really hard on ourselves. We aren't soft, kind, generous, gentle, and humble with ourselves. We are rough on ourselves. We come down on ourselves. I've heard people say, outline, just verbally say to themselves that they're stupid, idiot. What's wrong with you? And then a bunch of expressive, colorful metaphors. And we don't think about that. We don't, because it's a habit. When we think we've messed up or something, we come down on ourselves. So this is how you begin to differentiate between yesterday and tomorrow and now. Now, you would believe that most of us would choose the now, since there is no suffering. And the now is the gateway to discovering the God within the soul, within that body. You, discovering who you are, what you really are. And we don't realize it, but we attach to so many things. You could even be aware, right? You say, okay, I don't care to be attached. You understand what the attachment is because only you know what that is for you. Buddha learned that. He knew that attachment led to suffering. That's it is a fine line. Being overly attached to our desires and expectations can only lead to future suffering and disappointments. Now, there's a level where you say you experience a knowing within your heart that you've embraced something, right? Something that you desire, but it's subtle. It's not intense. And you're able to just let it go on its own and float, and the universe will take care of it because you've already sent it out to the universe. So, overly attached to your desires and expectations are what lead us to future suffering and disappointments, which then what it does is it lowers our manifesting abilities by lowering our frequency. Now, trusting is a biggie. First, yourself, trusting in yourself 100% without doubt, okay? And trusting in the all-intelligent universe so deeply that your mind is completely free and at ease with whatever occurs. By knowing that there is a bigger plan that is often beyond the scope of our mind's vision, we can learn to enjoy every detour that arises that is here to teach us how to make lemonade out of lemons. By consciously applying this discovery to our lives, we will discover our innate power to take our manifesting abilities to the next level. Eventually, this civilization, through multiple discoveries from within, will begin to understand that the manifesting power that we all have will become almost instantaneous. You'll watch it form right in front of you. Or someone halfway across the planet who's ill, right? You wish them to be healthy. They'll be healthy. So we inherit the ego mind, the subconscious mind, right? When we enter these bodies. Now, we don't know what they are to begin with when we enter the body. So why are they there? So that we can learn. So that we go into rediscovery of who and what we are. So it's kind of like you look at the ego mind and you say, okay, and you end up mastering the ego mind. Ego mind is a great servant, but a horrible master. You begin to discover that you watch the ego mind by being in the now, because the ego mind doesn't exist in the now. It never will exist in the now. And it's connected to all physical forms that are inhabited by gods. The difference between the now and yesterday and tomorrow is the ego mind. So you can view without judging, watch, right? Observe, that it's pretty clear, it's pretty plain when you go within and you're watching things. You're watching the ego mind and how the ego mind operates. You begin to identify things that come in, and you'll identify that that's an ego mind thought. That's an ego mind thought. Or that's an ego mind idea, or this is being influenced by the ego mind. And you'll know how to let them just pass through so you don't participate in them. You just watch the cloud float by. You don't get in it. Now, everyone on this planet became committed to the now. They were in the now 24/7. They didn't go into yesterday or tomorrow. There'd be total peace, bliss, and joy on this planet. create all of this material physical world to entertain us, and we experience. Where does knowledge come from? Experience. So we experience things, and we create the things that we experience, but we don't know that we create the things we experience. Some do, to a certain extent. Others, no, they don't have a clue. So they believe that there is a force that literally controls them, directs them, tells them what to do, how to do, and all these things come from that. Not you. Doesn't come from you. You're small and weak, insignificant. See, that's the ego mind, insecurity. And so you believe that, and see, by believing, you create it. You manifest it. It's like you look at a tree. Did you create that tree? Yes, you did. And see, the mind is such a small vessel that it can't, it is unable to comprehend that vastness. And it's all about self-discovery for each of us. We're all one. We are not separate when we're talking about the gods within these bodies. So the vastness is eternal. Every one of us can feel, the gods that we are, can feel those trillions of light years away. The gods within those physical forms, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, do you think that the mind is capable of understanding that? No, it's not. The mind believes that we are separate. The mind believes that we are individuals. Okay? Now, we aren't, okay? we're not. You know, we hear a lot about this talk on this planet about individuality, right? Each of us are in bodies. Each of us, gods, are in bodies, experiencing those bodies. You know, how you're raised, how the body's raised, you know, all of the information, all of other people's thoughts that form you. But it's the one, the whole, experiencing that. Okay? So, have you ever been talking with someone, communicating with someone, and they go, you don't know what it's like. And there's something in your heart that says, yes, I do, because I'm part of you. Have you ever had that feeling? Have you ever, and I'm not talking ego mind, because the ego mind will come in and want to argue with that, right? I'm talking about a subtle feeling in the heart. When someone says, you don't know what it's like. And you get a mixed emotions that come in. You get the emotions of saying, you know, I don't care to upset them by challenging them on that, so I'll just agree with them, right? Or you have the other feeling that comes in that says, yes, I do know. So imagine when you're talking with someone who makes those statements because of this illusion of separation, and you come back and say, but I do know, because I'm part of you. I'm part of the God within that body that's experiencing that body and that life. You know, it's often mentioned that we all end up we're all on the same path, right? And we are. It's like a tree, all the branches that just span out, massive tree, right? All the branches go off in different directions. But we're on the same path. So it's kind of an illusion to think that, you know, Frank's over here, Alice is over here, Jane's over here, Bill's over here. But we're all on the same path. And when we imagine expressing that to someone that says you don't know what it's like, and you very gently and lovingly say, but yes, I do know. Because I'm part of you. I'm part of the God within that body. We are not separate. We are all experiencing everything and everyone, all together, all the time. This isn't a concept. It is a reality. People will take a walk in the park, right, or in the woods or whatever. I had an email come to me that said I was driving and I was coming out of the city and I was looking and I saw all these fields and wheat fields, and this was in Europe, by the way, and woods, and I just got this feeling I wanted to just pull over and walk out there, just take a walk. So they did. And they started discovering how peaceful, describing the fields of wheat and the heads of the wheat and how the wind blew them and how they formed different shapes and reflections, and the trees. And they said this was better than meditation. And so my response to them was, but you were meditating. See, oftentimes when they were doing a walking meditation, you can meditate while you're walking, you can meditate while you're laughing, you can meditate while you're sleeping. You can meditate all the time. People get a misconception of meditation. We've got to say, guru, it's got to be transcendental meditation. It's got to be this, it's got to be that. No. Meditation is being with yourself and the God within you. It is focusing on the breath, moving into the now. That's meditation. Learning that you are not the body, right? And you're deeply grateful for the body, but you're not the body, and you're the God within it. See, the God, the soul, the higher self, the spirit, all of it is the God. You gotta remember that our minds are very goal-oriented. It's a machine, right? Even though it's an illusion, it believes that A should lead to B, should lead to C, and so on. It thinks that getting distracted off-center or sidetracked is a bad thing and not an essential aspect of our soul's life, mission, and destiny. It may say that you are unsuccessful from achieving your desired outcome or goal. Truth is, if the mind could see the bigger picture, it would relax and realize that every little distraction was essential for you to fulfill your life's mission and purpose here. Now, the results that we receive or don't receive in this life always become a deeper weave in the fabric of the final manifestation of our goal. Beating ourselves or someone else up about not reaching our goals in life only causes us to feel powerless and become more captivated and engrossed in the mechanics of the mind. If we simply cannot shake loose an old pattern of coming down hard on ourselves or another, get curious as to where the source of this hardness is coming from. Look within your past as to who was hard on you, and see if there is a voice that is still reverberating in your head. Deep curiosity is a profound dissolvent, and it will help us to unglue ourselves from any sabotaging pattern so we can return back to the source of divinity inside. Once we are living in a state of perpetual curiosity, then we can liberate our minds from any judgment it creates. Once we are living in a state of perpetual curiosity, then we can liberate our mind from any judgment it creates. When we are rooted in this perpetual state of curiosity, then you're truly home free. Nothing can upset you or disturb you as the mind remains curious about each and every experience. From this vantage point, we are no longer subject to fear, worry, or disappointment again. We end up living in a constant state of awe. Even if our mind wants us to believe that we've become a failure again. We know that our mind is very powerful and can trick us deeply. It will make us believe in thoughts that make us feel powerful, worthless, successful, unsuccessful, and imagine that we are truly lost in our lives. If and when we want to wake up, don't believe any thoughts that pass through the mind. None. Do not believe any thoughts that pass through the mind. Only explore the divine nature of your being. Everything will take care of itself and manifest with more grace and ease than any of us could have planned for when we surrender to this simple, sweet essence inside. Whenever we get caught in our mind, we place our attention out there. Watch it. You can watch it. Watch what happens. Anytime, when we get caught in our mind, we place our attention out there, thinking that a thought, person, place, or thing is the reason why we are unhappy. Don't give away your power to the mind. Don't give away your power to the mind. This is a grand misplacement of your divine responsibility. There is no thought that is more powerful, more amazing, more enlightening than the infinite beings we will discover inside our souls. When we talk about going deep, you have the layer of the soul. Then within the soul, the layer of the soul, you go deeper. The very core, that is who you are, the God. It's good to know that every one of us, right? Every single problem, challenge, and obstacle in this life is necessary for our soul's highest evolution and consciousness. They are all fuel for the fire of our awakening. There truly are no mistakes. Every path we decide to follow will eventually lead us into a more enlightened state. Some paths are simply longer, deeper, curvier, and can appear to seem like we are moving in the wrong direction. The most challenging routes create the strongest connection to God. Anytime you feel like you've hit a wall in this life, its purpose is to stop the mind from all of its efforting, so you drop deeper in the divine core of your being. If you struggle and fight this block, you'll only render yourself helpless and still have to surrender to source. It's what you are. You're really not surrendering. That's kind of an illusion, because you are the source. You are the divine source. So you're surrendering to what you are. You're not surrendering to the body, the mind, or the ego. When you're in tune with the divine source within, Your awareness is such that you naturally have a perpetual curiosity about every distraction along the path. You can see that there truly is no such thing as a mistake, accident, or wrong direction in this life. All destructive ego patterns are springboards into enlightenment. Every bad thing contains a deeply and eternal love in disguise that will later reveal itself when the blinders have been removed from our eyes. We start to embrace it all as the universe teaching us how to find our way home. What is our home? The God within these bodies. We can see that every situation is meant to bring us into a deeper alignment with our soul's divine destiny. Everything is already unfolding exactly as it should. The only question is, are we ready to live in this perfection and embrace the awesome presence inside us now? And it isn't really difficult, as the ego mind would make you believe that it is, insurmountable. Bathing in the feelings of deep gratitude before we get out of bed every morning. Take a few minutes to deeply appreciate you, your life, and everyone in it, even the ones you don't care to have in it. Imagine that you are bathing in a warm pool of appreciation and soaking it into every cell throughout your body. Imagine you are bathing in a warm pool of appreciation, soaking it into every cell throughout your body. Be creative with this exercise, and yet simply appreciate yourself just the way you are. Don't just think about it. You must choose to really feel it. When you can feel appreciation, or even just one thing about yourself, you raise your manifesting vibration, frequency in that moment. In the state of gratitude, the doors begin to open for you to truly see your soul's destiny. You can start simply by appreciating your body. Send love to your eyes, nose, ears, feet, chest, back, legs, brain, bones, and blood and heart. And it doesn't matter the condition they are in that moment. Let each body part know that you are deeply thankful for its functioning. And it is doing such a great job. Breathe in these feelings of self-love and realize that your body is perfect just the way it is right now. How many of us, through the ego mind on this planet, spend so much waking hours and sleeping ridiculing how we look, how we don't like this or how we don't like that, and I wish I had this and I wish I had that. Totally dissatisfied, and I don't think everybody is. I think there are some that are very happy with how they look and their bodies, and they wouldn't change a single thing. See, when that vibration, when that frequency, that you, only you, increase, and you let each body part know that you are deeply thankful for its functioning, and it is doing such a great job, breathe in these feelings of self-love and realize that your body is perfect just the way it is now. Then look back at your life and appreciate yourself for something you're proud of that you did. After you've loved yourself up, right? After you've loved yourself up completely, then turn this gratitude out onto everyone else in your life. Thank all your friends, family, lovers, and acquaintances who have touched your life in some way. Be grateful for how they all have contributed to your soul's growth and evolution in their own unique way. Where do we spend most of it? And where we don't employ this, right, of what I just shared with you, where do we spend most of our time? Worrying, stressing, and fearing on one level or another. Don't we? Doesn't the mind ego take us in that direction every single second? It's always pulling us in those directions. You have a problem, you solve it, and then there's another one. It takes its place immediately. So we spend a tremendous amount of time worrying, stressing, and fearing. When we could take that energy, increase our vibrational frequency, and do what I've just shared. Proclaim your heart's mission to the universe. Proclaim your heart's mission to the universe. After you've appreciated yourself, because it comes with you, it starts with you. It has to start with you, not anybody else, you. After you've appreciated yourself, look deep inside yourself and determine what you really want to manifest in your life. What do you most want to be, do, have, or experience? Choose just one thing that makes your heart sing every time you think about it. Now, when you discover what this is, write it down. Then speak it out loud to the entire universe. It may sound something like, I am committed to manifesting an enlightened, loving relationship in my life. Or, I am going to eat only healthy, alive foods that make me feel amazing every day. You speak these words from the depth of your soul, your God self, with passion and sincerity. This sends out a magnificently powerful vibration frequency all throughout your body that continuously goes out into this universe. This one proclamation and commitment will help you immensely in making all of your dreams manifest into reality. Visualize yourself reaching your goal. After you've stated your commitment to the universe, then close your eyes and imagine what your life will feel like once you've reached your goal. This is a time to let in the most positive possible feelings that you can muster. This is your chance to dive into joy, love, bliss, and even ecstasy. Imagine that your dream has already been fulfilled and now it's time to celebrate. You can visualize every single detail has already come true, yet the secret is how amazing you feel inside now that you have arrived. Notice how your face is different, how your heart feels, how inspired you are, and how everyone is related to you in a new way. Use the power of your imagination to see and feel this new you who is truly living your dream life in reality. You could go as far as when you wake up every morning, take at least 15 minutes every morning. You do it for a week or forever, it's up to you, to experience and explore all of what I've shared. Remain curious, open-minded as to how they show up and manifest into your life. And as you practice, know that you will get better at doing this exercise every time you do it. The more time you spend doing it, just like anything, you'll notice your joy valve opening wider as you feel more love and lightness than ever before. This is a great sign that your manifesting vibration is increasing. By following this 3-step process every day, you'll soon master your mind, and stop being a slave to it. Stick with it daily, and you'll look forward to each challenge life brings you, knowing it contains an opportunity to create more love, lightness, and freedom. It is necessary to make your mind a prayer, the heart full of love, and every breath a melody of devotion. Then the soul becomes a glorified song of compassion, mercy, understanding, and humility. Anale Scan. Devoted to your heart, mind. Devoted to the God that you are within that body. One of the most beautiful experiences in this life is the feeling of devotion. Devoted to you. We've released the selfish agenda of our ego and are surrendered to something much greater than ourselves. We've given up every imperative need to get something back in return for our practice of giving, and are simply enjoying the sensation of being liberated from our perpetual list of demands and needs. We could say that the greatest lovers in the world are those who can relax into the deepest feeling of devotion within their heart, which is attuned to a love that transcends all conditions, agendas, and limitations. This energy of devotion can take on many forms. We can be devoted to a lifestyle, a person, a way of being, a project, or even achieving a desired goal. The difference between being devoted and committed to something is within the quality of the experience. The difference between being devoted and committed to something is within the quality of the experience. Commitment is more of a mental excursion, while devotion is a journey through the heart. Through devotion, there is this continual undercurrent of love which flows through every thought, feeling, and word uttered. The love it radiates holds this heart-opening quality, connecting our mind to our soul, to our God, allowing us to taste the sweet, luscious flavor of our own divine existence. When we choose to practice being in the energy of devotion, we are feeding the heart with a joy that has no end to it. This ultimately brings real satisfaction into our life. Feeling that great longing and yearning we each have for the everlasting joy we feel is missing inside. Real devotion is one of the greatest secrets to finding our spiritual freedom in this lifetime. The feeling of it alleviates our suffering instantly, as it allows every action to feel sacred and aligned with our life purpose. It is the most essential nutrient necessary to create a fully exquisite life that is deeply fulfilling on all levels. The highest reward for an act of kindness is not what you get by doing it, but what you become by doing it. The highest reward for an act of kindness is not what you get by doing it, but what you become by doing it. One of the great challenges with choosing a life of devotion is that we may fear losing ourselves in the beliefs, heart, mind, or life of our beloved. We might fall into some codependent relationship, feeling an addiction to them, where we may become obsessed by a need for their approval or our every action, belief, and life decision. In this unhealthy state, our beloved becomes like the sun, and we become the earth revolving around them. When we remember that we are the sun, and our beloved is just another sun, spirit, we've met along the way, we can feel that they are actually revolving around our life as well. From this perspective, we experience what a healthy, devoted relationship is like. And these two bodies gravitationally spin around each other in a natural, respectful, meaningful, and magnetic way. In a healthy state of devotion, we are seeing the bigger picture. Our feet are rooted in the ground beneath us, and our branches are extended up, out into the stars. We are not clinging to anyone or anything. We are relaxed in our own essence, feeling alive, conscious, and appreciating each moment of this existence. There is a great reverence each day we have to be in relationship with our beloved. We know it all can end at any moment, and thus never take it for granted. There is a solid feeling of connection to the love shared without depending on it to find the love within ourselves. In this healthy state of devotion, we feel connected with everyone and everything in our world. Love is one of the most dangerous explorations in this life because it is the most rewarding. In order to experience real love, we must choose to completely lose ourselves to it. We must choose to become so devoted to the feeling, the real feeling of love, the essence of love, that it is free from attachment, fear, and possession. We must choose to walk that very fine line between losing ourselves in a healthy or unhealthy way in a devoted relationship. We must choose to take the risk to see ourselves at the beloved and as the beloved sees us, and know that it is our own innocent hearts we are longing to connect with. When the final day comes to an end, we know that it is our own innocent hearts we are longing to connect with when the day finally comes to an end. As long as our relationship with ourself remains the main priority, we will remain in a healthy state of devotion. We will be aligned to our soul's purpose and thus be able to show up with the greatest love to give. When we live in fear of losing ourselves to our beloved, there is this clinging to our ego, and we end up resisting love, fearing its power, and then not allowing our ego to surrender fully into it. As long as the ego remains in control, love will be kept on the sideline. When we can realize that our heart is the main source of love, the infinite source of love itself, we can share this love endlessly and stop withholding it from others in our lives. As we walk on the path of devotion, we might discover how the ego is an absolute genius at missing the truth. It cannot imagine that there is a bigger love to experience on the inside than what it thinks is on the outside. It is only through exploring total devotion to our soul, our spirit, and infinite self that the sacred meeting of deeply eternal love is discovered between you and your beloved. This is the one vital truth to be realized that will let a continual stream of joy flow through your life. When we surrender completely to this infinite source that connects our heart with our soul, we will always rise and fall in love with our beloved. Then we can relax fully into the devotional experience We are free from the fear of codependency and are no longer worried about becoming lost in the mind and the life of our beloved. We become so rooted in the exploration of deeply eternal love within ourselves that we can allow ourselves to take risks, love deeper, be foolish in how much we love, and continuously fall further into love with our beloved over and over and over again. As you dissolve into love, your ego fades. You're not thinking about loving. You're just being love, radiating like the sun from us. You're not thinking about loving. You're just being love, radiating like the sun. Every one of us wishes we had the courage to live a life overflowing with an abundance of joy and love. Yet, to reach this level of love means we must choose to surrender through every fear we are gripping onto. We must choose to let go of control, trust that love is the greatest guide we will ever find. We must choose to devote our entire heart and mind to the data and feeling and the idea of being in love with ourselves and our lives. This is the place where the heart never, ever closes down for any reason whatsoever. When we are truly devoted to ourselves, to finding the greatest love within our own heart, we find that love was always there, always waiting to show us the way home, to the God within these bodies. Now, a big issue everyone comes eventually across is that the ego is the most tenacious master at resisting love. It is always cautious and skeptical about falling in love and feels devotion is only for the weak and the needy. The ego simply doesn't trust love because if it felt what love really was, it would die. It would have to give up all its strategies for protecting itself from love and learn the path of surrender. The ego only knows control and separation, me versus you, and avoids falling into the ultimate state of love at all costs because it knows it has no control in that space. The more we can surrender to trusting love, the more we will find that love pours into every wounded crack and crevice hidden in our being. It is only through giving up our attachment to our ego that we can find what real love is all about. We must choose to lose our small self to discover our big self, which is constantly growing and evolving in love, always being reborn, fresh, and new. At the highest level of awareness, all devotion is devotion to the self. At the highest level of awareness, all devotion is devotion to the self. The self is omnipresent, alive, and conscious within all beings. When we know this, see this, and honor this truth, we simply give up all limited approaches to love and upgrade it for this higher version of reality. From this space, we can be totally devoted to a partner, a friend, a child, a family, or any person for that matter. We then can lose ourselves completely in that experience because we know that ultimately it is a form of devotion to who we truly are. There is no separation from ourselves and our beloved. Our beloved is our perfect mirror, reflecting back to us all the multidimensional aspects inside ourselves that we cannot see. It is through seeing the oneself, realizing its awesome power, that we can stop being afraid of devotion. It is our devotion to this highest state of awareness, seeing the one self in all beings, that actually enables us to be free. We are no longer limited by our expression, bound by our beliefs, or stuck in our suppression. In devotion to the one, we gain access to the deepest levels of joy, freedom, and truth. We are no longer fearing love, yet only in gratitude and reverence of it. This sacred relationship allows us to reveal our highest life purpose and direction. It is only from this place that real everlasting happiness is found. This state of being knows that life is truly perfect just as it is, and there is absolutely nothing we need to do to make it better in any possible way. Be lamps unto yourselves. Be refuges unto yourselves. Look not for a refuge in anyone besides yourselves. Buddha. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. Just for today, practice accepting everything about yourself. Accept what you like and don't like inside you. Just feel what it is like to stop fighting yourself and accept whatever you see and feel represents you. And remember, whatever you have trouble accepting is here to awaken you even more to your own brilliance. Everything happens for a divine purpose and is meant to push you towards a more enlightened state of being. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here tonight at 9 p.m. for the Time for Change call, and tomorrow, Thursday, September 8th, 2022, to continue our global guided meditation call.